you packed your suitcases, you moved to Mexico together, you hunted down an apartment, searched for an apartment, moved in together in Mexico. How were the first few days, the first few weeks of living in Mexico for you guys?
Yeah, it was quite an interesting experience in the beginning, because then when you're already in the country, then your brain decided to trick you and says, oh my God, and what you going to do here? Oh my God, and like why I'm here. I had a lot of questions like this in the beginning, and especially, yes, I had experience of moving to another country and living in another country, but Mexico is so much different. It has such a big difference with all the kind of European part that I have been, and even like Arabic country. But yeah, I had so many cultural shocks, and none of them were bad or something. It was just in general that your body and your brain needs time to adapt, and that's very important to understand. I was not understanding it completely at that time. I was thinking, oh my God, what should I do to change it now? I remember, and I always tell it to someone who asked how was my first days in Mexico, that even the taste of bread, which is supposed to be like equal or slightly different in all the countries, I felt so much different. I felt it tastes like beans or something like this. That's super unusual to me. And all other food, kind of same. It's same, like maybe milk, same international products, but for some reason it felt very different. And we also, first when we just arrived, we arrived not here directly, we arrived to more local city where his family lives, and that's also give this effect that I just don't belong here. Like I don't understand how I am going to ever make it, like how I'm going to ever feel like I'm at home or at the place that I feel comfortable. So in the beginning it wasn't always positive. It was most like the process has been started in that moment. The process that I think was chasing me over first year of adapting to opening up, to maybe changing something inside of me that was so shocked. So yeah, it's not always that you come to the country, especially that you didn't experience and you love it. And it's not the same when you come to some tropical country or like exotic country as a tourist, and for you it's all adventure, for you it's all, yeah, just for a week or two and you're coming back home, you know this feeling. But when you come in some place where you think you're going to stay okay a few years, it's completely different structure, like completely different way your brain take it all.
Do you speak Spanish? Or when you
I
moved,
speak
did
a
you speak
little.
Spanish?
No, I didn't speak when I just moved. I mostly, no, basics. Basics I knew, but of course I didn't understand. I would say better learn the language and just like don't try it, because now when I already speak, still not that fluent, because it needs, I think, just more time in terms of practice to reach the fluentness. But at least when you understand, at least when you can reply for yourself, it gives you also this self-conscious and self-confidence. I don't know, it just make you complete. Because if you don't speak, you will just feel lost. And even in such touristic places here, if everyone says here in Playa del Carmen, you don't have to speak Spanish, everyone speaks English. Maybe, but not everyone, and not everyone willing to speak English, and not everyone should speak English. It's still Spanish speaking country, and without the language, it only increases your feeling of loss.
Because that would have been, or that's actually my experience in Argentina. So we are married since 8 years, my husband and I already. And I kind of lost the opportunity or missed the opportunity of learning Spanish, like on time. I should have learned it 8 years ago, honestly. And I kind of want to bite my own butt that I didn't start learning it as soon as we met or as soon as we took things to the next steps of getting married and all of this. Because now I'm here in Buenos Aires, I got to a point where I understand people, but I take forever to reply. And besides this, like, you try to navigate everything by yourself because, you know, you're an independent woman. You don't have to rely on anyone. And then you realize, besides the language, that you also kind of have to relearn everything. So it's just a different environment, different processes. Things here, especially in Buenos Aires, that is so slow and so different to what I'm used to in Germany. So my brain sometimes can't really wrap around the fact that it is a different system here. It's a different school system, different health system. They communicate differently. It's just, you know, everything is different. And then you feel like, okay, I'm 4 years old and I'm trying to figure it out. I have to take it step by step and do baby steps. And back home, I was so self-confident. And here I'm struggling with making a doctor's appointment, for example. I like to tell the story of the gynecologist, for example. So I had to take my husband to the gynecologist appointment. And in Germany, it's just something I just go once a year by myself, get a checkup, and that's it. And this time I had to take my husband in order to translate because the doctor wasn't speaking English, because most people here speak Spanish, which obviously, I mean, and I'm not expecting them to speak English, obviously, but they just know some basic English, and that's it here in Buenos Aires. And other parts of Argentina and Patagonia, for example, it's a little bit different. So there you navigate life easier in English, but here it's sometimes almost possible. So yeah, you find yourself in situations where you're just like, okay, I'm here at the gynecologist's office. And yeah, my husband has to translate every single bit because otherwise I would be so lost, you know? And even after 1.5 years of living here, there are so many situations where I'm just like, I would know exactly what to do in this situation back home in Germany, and I have no clue what I'm doing here right now. And I have to rely on my husband, which is okay, but I feel like, again, like a 4-year-old because I have to ask for everything, almost everything, for support of my husband. So I'm wondering, how was this experience for you in the first few months, not speaking the language yet, not understanding what people would actually try to communicate if they wouldn't speak English? So how did you navigate the first few months in Mexico?
First of all, I want to add that you shouldn't like blame yourself that you didn't learn it earlier. I think it's super normal, and I feel it in some of my foreign friends here who also lives here. In some moment, because I used to learn a little bit of Spanish, like I wasn't speaking, but I had this app. I was knowing some phrases, and back there, even in Dubai, I had such a big motivation to learn it. I had such a big inspiration. And when we moved here, it's really completely different story, because besides the language, you notice that, right? You need to rethink all the life processes. Like even just simple going to supermarket takes from you much more energy and much more self-conscious than before, and it's just different. And a lot of people, and me as well, I felt like, no, not only I'm learning, even like not I'm learning Spanish right now after all this stress that I already experienced. It's not that I am going to now sit and keep torturing myself with something that I feel like confused. Like I'm already kind of came back from outside to a comfort home where I just need to rest and not to push more with that. Yeah, some people may be lucky enough and they don't have this kind of state in mind when it's going in that direction, but I've noticed that it's really, really a thing that you might not have enough strength to learn it from the very first moment, even maybe not after a year. And I'm still also, for me, any doctor appointment, it's of course I'm going with my husband, because otherwise it's a little bit different vocabulary. I'm not considering even trying, like I won't understand.
No.
And yeah, first few months, I felt like a kid. I felt like a kid who is walking with his parents, and his parents meet some other adults, and when they speak, the kid is super bored and the kid wants to go home.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Feel you.
That's how it is. Like, you genuinely just don't understand what's going on, what's the conversation about, and it makes your brain. You're lucky enough if it doesn't make your brain irritated, because for sometimes I also felt so irritated, like I don't understand. Like, I cannot like do it like this anymore. And but most of the times it was like you just feel really in your own thoughts, you don't know what conversation was about, and you just want to already this conversation to finish for you to go, and like your partner will explain everything to you what's happened. But yeah, it might feel very, very difficult. After, like, over the year, then I think I started little by little just trying to speak, because the most important it's not that you learn, it's mostly how you use it in real life. And I tried first in a taxi, was trying to like direct, then in supermarket maybe to ask something. Like in simple life situations, I was trying to use it. And of course, every time you succeed in those little steps, you gain more confidence. And I still, till this day, I try to evaluate my level, like try more difficult and difficult situations. I am mostly would say that I am not afraid anymore, even if I don't understand something. I just open my phone, I just type whatever I need to say, or I give the phone to the person, please, por favor, and that's it. So, like, it's mostly, I would say, your intention, what is matter, your intention, your mood, like your energy, because people feel it a lot how you approach. Some people approach and they don't even try. Like, they approach and they especially usually it's tourists, of course. They approach in English and they expect and they even get mad if you don't speak English to them. I am not one of this person, like one of these people. I mostly was always trying my best to at least half of the praise speak like insane Spanish. So probably it's exactly how you said, baby steps that you have to do every day. Also understand not to torture yourself. And for me, yeah, it was part of the struggle for sure. But over time, you just already don't take it as something unusual. You just, okay, I might not understand. Maybe it's for good. Maybe it's for